Right. We will go to the predictions. Feel free to tweet and Facebook and YouTube yours in. You're more than welcome.
By the way, I got 5 out of 6 last week.
Did you?
Did.
Which one did you get wrong?
Hull.
Hull. Well, you told me earlier you went for Catalans, so you can't have got 5 out of 6.
No, I went for OKR. I went for OKR to win, didn't I?
He just said he went for Catalans.
Yeah, when I had my accumulator, like a
right, okay.
You don't like you do, like you do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, Castleford are taking on Hull Thursday night down at the Jungle.
Yes.
It is, well, if Cas don't win, they're not getting in unless they win 100-0 the week after at Wigan.
Well, for these two sides, this is the most important game of the season. My big question is, who is going to be the clueless halfbacks, the Castleford halfbacks, or the Hull halfbacks? Because what I saw on Friday night with Truman and Jamie Ellis, totally clueless. Didn't see the Hull halfbacks on Friday night, but you told me as well, Matt, that they were clueless. So that's where the game's going to be won or lost, because the Castleford forwards and the rest of the players got themselves in brilliant field position, so they had no complaints of where they should have been on the field for the creativity. Hull themselves as well, Mark, you were saying as well, that good field position, but again, the halfbacks were clueless. So this thing now, on Friday night, is going to be all about the creativity of the set of halfbacks. Whoever comes out on top of that, they're going to win the game. I don't have an issue with the forwards, the outside backs, they'll do their jobs from there. And what I saw, certainly, of Truman and Ellis, well, I just can't see how Cass are going to score points. But you telling me that Hull were even worse.
No, honestly, mate.
Well, you're telling me even worse. Well, I'll tell you what, this might be a 0-0 draw, or maybe won by golden point. Drop goal after
1-0. You're going 1-0
after 85 minutes. But boy, oh boy. Well,
KPW has just said that 0-0.
Well, I don't think there's going to be many points in this. I don't, and I think it's going to be a 2-point buffer. And I'm just going to go home advantage. I'm going to go Castleford by 2. I think it's going to be a scoreline of something around about 12-10 or 14-12. That's because the halfbacks are absolutely clueless.
So I'm going 44-42. Point a minute.
Who do you go to? Who did you say is going to win?
Cass by 2.
It's a respective cup final for both of these teams because it's their season. Cass lose and it's over. Hull lose, and I don't think anybody will take them seriously as grand final contenders. I'm just, at the moment, I understand there's a lack of creativity at Cass this year. The balance doesn't seem to be quite right, and I think that will be rectified next year, which is why Darryl Powers wants to stay there and build the next team. My worry for Hull is that every time we say they've got to show what they're made of, they need a response, we don't get it. So I think Cass, with the incentive of being at home, with the fact that they know it is their cup final for this season, I'm going to go Cass narrowly, but in a very high scoring game.
Richard? Oh, he's banned.
I won't go for
James
Cass.
said, we'll score back Cass against Hull. FC have no chance if we get backed by the legends. Andy said Hull have a better pack, so they will win. Noel Bateman says Hull if Kelly's back. I'm going to go for Hull. They were awful the other night. They were really awful. But as bad as their home record is at home, obviously, funnily enough, their away record is, I think they're the second best away from Hull. They won at Cass earlier in the year.
They played well at that.
They did. Kelly and Connor at the forefront. Nalago, they've got a few out at the minute. They won't be as bad as they were the other night. I think they play better away from home. I think the players know they play better. I've got to go for Hull. I'm going to go Hull by 10. Friday night. This is the big one. Let's be fair. Hull Kingston Rovers. 20 points. London on 18. Rovers win and they are safe. A draw and they are safe. London win and it is squeaky bum time down at Rovers.
Well, you know what I'm predicting here? Okay, so Rovers winning with a smile on my face, because one thing for sure, after that game and after that magnificent win at Catalan Dragons, they are going to show the character this Friday night. They're not going to be, as you call it, Mr. Wilson, bottlers. They're not going to bottle it on Friday. They're going to enjoy the occasion Friday night. It's going to be absolutely buzzing. There'll be 8,500 people there. They'll want to. Tony Smith for a 3-year deal. The players on Friday night will want to respond and give them a quality game of rugby league to say as a massive thank you for their support they've given them this year. London, yeah, they'll come there and show plenty of character. Have done all season, but I would imagine London will be thinking, Do you know what? We know the points difference is a little bit suspect at the moment. We're hoping Warrington can hammer Wakefield by about 60 points, which gives an opportunity that if we can beat Wakefield the week after on points difference, I think this is OKR's game quite easily, to be honest with you. It's their moment, it's their time, they'll show the character. I'm going to Kingston Rovers by 16.
I think London lost this Sunday in the first half. They had, 6 sets on the Leeds line early on, couldn't score. Leeds had 3 chances, converted them all, and London were 18-0 down at the half time. And even though they came back, I think the damage was done. If London can keep Hull KR to level or edge in front after 20 minutes, I think that atmosphere you talk of will turn from euphoria to nervousness. And I think the one thing that Hull KR have had this year is that inability to win back-to-back, and where they've been let down is at home, where they really feel the pressure. London have got absolutely nothing to lose. Absolutely. They may as well go out and play the game of their lives, because if they lose, they're gone. I still think Hull KR will win by a Danny Maguire drop goal, but I don't think they'll be
Hull KR by 1.
You've bottled that then, haven't you? Just the same by 1. You've bottled that, Scott.
Not at all.
Right,
I tell you,
I'm very intrigued.
The one under Danny Ward, what London have got is resilience.
I agree. I agree. They've got resilience and character, but it's Hull KR's night. Mr. Wilson, are they going to bottle it on Friday night?
Possibly. There are 2 outcomes here, and quite clearly for me, there are 2 outcomes. One is London do what Huddersfield went there and did, and what Wakefield went there and did, and keep it really tight and get the crowd out of the game. In fact, I'd say the crowd will be a negative if it gets tight, because they're so nervous, and I don't blame them. They've been relegated. The fans don't want to get relegated. They're as nervous as the players are. They've got to keep it really tight, really, really tight. And if they can do that, then London have got every chance of winning. If they do what they did the other day and they go 12-0 down early, I worry it could be an absolute landslide, because there will come a point in the game where 9 months, or if you want to say 2 years of hard work for London, and they'll know they're going down. Everything they've put in, they're still going to go down. And I think if that happens, then you see them dropping off 50% and Hull KR growing another arm, because they know they're going to be safe and they can enjoy it. And we know Hull KR, when they've got to play like they did at Leeds, they can score points. So part of me can see Hull KR winning by 40 odd. Honestly, I mean that. But I hope, and this is not anti-Hull KR, I hope London get to go to the final day, because if it goes to the final day, then we should, if we've got any brains, it should be all over Sky. We should have people at all the games. They're going down or they're going down, and we really have to maximise this. So, do I think Hull KR can win? Of course I do. And I think if Hull KR do win, I think they'll win really easy. I'll say that now, because I just think London, I worry, can they get... They couldn't do it last week. Can they do it this? I don't know. But I want London to win. I want London to win. I want them to get their final day out at Wakefield and see what happens. So I'm going to go London by 1. Leeds against Salford. Gary Schofield. Leeds are safe. Salford 6 wins on the bounce. Come on, the Red Devils.
Well, do you know what you've got? I see Salford.
Reds are rising.
Well, one thing for sure.
You'll all be singing it tomorrow.
One thing for sure. It's going to be a full moon on Friday night. Full moon Friday night.
You're going to be howling, eh?
We're going to I tell you what, the Leeds players are going to be howling because they're safe. The Leeds fans are going to be howling with joy because they know we're safe. I think Leeds will put on a show on Friday night, because it has been a pressurised season due to the position we've been in all season. Salford played some good rugby league, but I just feel as though Leeds, the last 2 games, they're going to put a show on for all the fans. They're going to bring out the best in them. I'm going for Leeds to win. I'm going for Leeds to win by 14.
Wow.
I think Salford having 3 days extra to prepare will have an impact. I think Salford know they need probably 1 win to attain this fantastic top 5 finish. Not sure it'll come this week. I think you're right on what I saw of Leeds this week, and just the general relief around the club that they can play now if they want. I don't know if they're good enough. We'll know on Friday. The intriguing battle is Louis against Lollahea. I think Rob Louis will probably win that battle, and if he does, then Leeds will win by 10.
Not everyone outcome. We've got to go for the Salford. The Salford massive. Well, they beat Hull, battered Hull, battered Warrington. You could say the result or the draw fell their way that way. But I think I'm like you, mate. Look, they've got 2 games left. Hull Care at home. If Hull Care win this week, they'll be on holiday next week. So I don't think there'll be a problem there for Salford. But I think they'll want to get it done this week, because they could still finish in the top 3, which would be huge for them. Massive. They win and they're in. Points difference is well in their favour. I've written Salford off too many times. I do genuinely, taking my t-shirt off. I think there'll be a mental down. I get what you're saying about Leeds going and playing with freedom. I also think there'll be a few changes this week. I think there's a couple of battered bodies, and I think Richard Agar will pull them out. I'm not saying they're putting the queue on the rack, and Agar made a point of saying we will not do that.
He was chasing Catalans.
But whenever Leeds have played a good team, they have come up short, you have to say, even in recent weeks when they've been playing well. So I think there'll be enough in it. I think Salford will win. I think it'll be Salford who'll win quite easily. I think they'll win by 14. Saints against Huddersfield. Now remember, Simon Wolford's watching, so be careful, legend. Be careful.
Hey, well, do you know what? I'm delighted that Simon's got a smile back on his face, and he fully deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. And tell you what, after that victory last week at Hull, they could go there with plenty of confidence. And I guess it's quite simple this week in training. Do exactly what you did the week before prior to the Hull game. Go out there and express yourself. Go out there and enjoy yourself, and see what happens. St Helens, are they going to rest a few players? They know what they've done. Nobody can get anywhere near them from there. So will they rest a few players?
Well, they don't forget they will have the first week of the playoffs off.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a rest in 2 weeks, aren't they?
Yeah, but still, there'll still be a little bit, a few bumps and bruises, and still recovering from that. Massive shock. Wembley defeat by Warrington. So can the Giants go there and maybe upset the apple cart? I think if they could show the creativity what Castleford didn't show the week before, I think there could be a surprise here. And I'm going to put even a bigger smile on Simon Wolford's face.
Just because he's
like Uncle Albert.
Listen, I'm going.
Oh, it's all right, Simon's not listening now. What are you really thinking? He's gone now. What are you thinking? This is a joke. You're winding me up. You're winding me up.
Hey, listen, I'm the Del boy of this show. You're Uncle Albert.
You are Del. You're a plonker. Exactly.
I'll tell you what. I've got the Giants by 7. Lee Gaskell to rip Saints apart.
Former Saints man.
There you go.
I think what Saints have learned from losing the Challenge Cup is they've done the exact opposite this year to what they did last year. Last year they didn't rotate enough when it caught up with them. This year they probably haven't played some players enough going into the big game. So I think Holbrook will settle on what his best team is. He'll want them to play. The big positive for them, even though Cass didn't have a lot of creativity, was nil in a team, coming off the back of the defeat at Wembley. Last home game of the season for Saints, I can see him having a bit of fun and winning by 20. I don't think it'll make any difference to Huddersfield. They've got their eyes on Catalans the following week.
Robert Hicks to be the ref. Huddersfield win by 64. We all know the outcome. Look, they tipped their guts in last week, Huddersfield, and got a thoroughly deserved win. But I think even the most ardent Huddersfield fan will say there wasn't a great deal coming the other way. They deserve to win, no one's arguing about that. But Saints will have more than Hull will. I think that'll cause them more problems. And I think there'll come a point where Huddersfield might go, right, it's all about next week.
Yeah.
So we will see. There's also the point you could make, game being on Friday, London could be 40-0 down at half time, in which case Huddersfield are safe and they do have a draw. So I'm going to say Saints. I'm going to say Saints by 16. I think they'll get it done. Warrington against Wakefield. Wakefield still need a win scoring, but then Warrington, 6 league defeats on the trot? They don't win. They potentially,
if Cass win the night before,
could still miss out. So, what do you reckon?
They need to get back on the horse, and get back on the horse. I mean, on the Super League horse, don't they, to be honest with you, because as you've mentioned, 6 on the bounce from there, and even Stefan Rath has been saying we need to get back to winning ways, and I think they will this week. And they know how important this game is from there. This is a performance of the 2 points, what will cement most probably the top 5 spot. Anyway, I don't think they'll get anywhere near second now the way that Wigan are playing, and I think this will be quite convincing for Warrington. I'm not having Wakefield. I'm not having them there off the minds on London. Now, I can't have Wakefield. I can't. And I didn't think they'd do anything this season anyway, even though with the signing of Danny Brough, I said they'd finish 9th, and I'm not far off from there, to be honest with you. Not having Wakefield. I think Warrington will rip them apart. I'm going the Wolves by 32.
I think the worry for Wakefield is they've been in this scenario before at Warrington and got hammered. Losing Bill Tupou is a massive blow. Chris Anakin, who's been playing well in the last couple of weeks, he's not going to play again this year. So again,
I think they lost Batcher as well for the season, I think.
So Wakefield are really struggling in terms of resources. Like you were saying about Huddersfield going to Saints, whatever they do at Warrington, they're going to need to know at half time what's happening in Hull and London. If it goes their way, I can't see them winning at Warrington. If what they don't want to be doing is going into that last weekend in a winner takes all game.
What do? Do you put all your eggs in the basket the week after and risk getting tucked up this week?
I don't know.
Their points difference is to the extent they can afford to do that.
Yeah, and that's why I think Warrington will win, and probably win by 24, and that'll be enough to keep Wakefield up.
Very good. I thought Wakey'd give Wigan a game, and they did give them a game. In fairness, they just came up a little bit short at the end. I think this is one. He said to Chris Chester, "You don't have to play. Don't bother." I don't think he'd go. I genuinely don't. I think he'll take his chances next week. If he can't beat London for the third, they've lost twice already to him. If he can't beat them in 3 games, they deserve to get relegated.
With a likely more than 120 points difference in their favour. So.
Well, yeah, but the problem is if London did win this week, London would only need a bait Wakefield. Points difference won't even come into it. So I think, respectfully, it's one eye on next week. They'll have a go. And I think if it goes the other way and London are get beat 40-0, I think Wakefield will chuck it in anyway. So I think I'm going Warrington. I think they'll win easy. I'll go 24. Warrington by 24. Last game, Wigan against the recently retired Catalans Dragons.
Recently retired journeyman, pathetic Catalan Dragons, to be honest with you, from there. And I said last week, and the proof's in the pudding, the proof's in the performance. They've got the Factor 6 on, they've got the King Edwards out, and I say there's no joy for them at Wigan. Wigan will want to make sure that, yes, they hammer the Catalans on Friday night. Points falling against will still be important. They want to keep that winning run going, Wigan. This will be easy for Wigan, because the Catalans are pathetic, useless, and can't care less about putting that jersey on. There's no purpose in their performance whatsoever. This is Wigan Warriors by 42.
I don't think they're 42, but I can't disagree with a single word of that. I don't know where Catalan are going. I think this year's been a write-off and a disaster compared to what it should have been. They need to make some really serious decisions about what they want to be as a club. Now, if they start doing that before the end of this season, might give them a lease of life. Can't see it. Adrian Lamb's saying and doing all the right things, getting Wigan up into second. He knows that you can't afford to drop a game like this in the run into the playoffs. Wigan by 30.
Yeah. Catalans can't beat London at an old car at home. They ain't going to go to Wigan and win. In fact, I'd be surprised if you even turn up, some of them. They've been an absolute disgrace. And I keep going back. We watched them against Hull and we both said they're back. Wigan are back. This is a chance for them. They're well behind on points difference. All right, they've got 2 more points, but they play Cast next week. They won't want to just put the queue on the rack just yet. They're going to beef up their points difference this week. I'm going to go 52-6. I think they'll win by 46, Gary. I'm going to go a little bit more than you. I just see nothing coming back, and I think Wigan, on form, I think they're the grand final winners as it stands at the minute, and I think they will batter the Dragons. Right, that's it. We've done. Sincere thanks to everybody that's got. We've had loads of people getting involved, and I mean loads. A lot of new names. Thanks to everyone that's taken the time to do it. Share it, tell your mates. You can come here, like Phil said earlier. It's not a one-way street. We're not here to lecture anyone about rugby. We love it. We talk about it. We have a laugh talking about it. We want you to get stuck in. Even more so if we get it wrong. But rest assured, I won't be getting it wrong. Salford will win at Leeds this week. And OKR might just have to wait a bit longer for their apologies.
Just as we finish the show then, if Hull KR do win on Monday, I want an apology next week to the Hull KR fans that they're not bottlers.
I'll think about it. Download the podcast, how's do you do? Share it, retweet, whatever you can do to help us out, we do appreciate it. I'm going to try and turn everything off now. I might not do it correctly. If I don't, you might get a bit of bonus footage. We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Do not, under any circumstances, say anything that can get us into trouble.
Hi everyone over in the UK. Well, I'm here to tell you that come October this year, I'll be travelling to the UK to do a week-long talking tour. I'll be talking about everything in my life, my rugby league career, how I started, and of course how I finished this year. I'll be travelling to Leeds, St Helens, Hull and Doncaster to do live events. Go to rmsportsevents.co.uk to get all the information. I'll also be playing a couple of games of rugby league against an old foe of mine, Adrian Morley. The events also support Life for a Kid. Can't wait for it. It's going to be great fun. I love the UK. See you in October.